Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Carlo of 4GQ TV here with a very special interview. This is somebody who I met at a creators meetup in Tampa, aka St. Petersburg, who was a fantastic host, and his co-host was Rebecca Rogers. And the event was full. Everybody had fun. I fell down in one of the pictures by accident, which I'm sure some people remember. But Sam, welcome to 4GQ TV, and thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Appreciate you asking me to get on here.
Absolutely. So, man, everybody at that event has a journey into YouTube, and you have a journey as well. So, how did you get involved in what you do? What was that thing that just said, you know what, I'm going to create a YouTube channel, I'm going to create content, get on social media, and do my thing? Got you into it?
Yeah, so I've had an account since 2012. Not the one I have now. I buried the account that I had, but I've had an account since 2012 and always wanted to be on it, but couldn't really find my footing. I tried gaming, all that, and nothing really worked. So technically started on TikTok because a friend of mine was on it, and we had the similar kind of content. So started posting on that, and before Shorts came out, I started posting the Shorts on YouTube because it had come out in India, and you were able to potentially finesse your way onto the algorithm if you use the hashtag shorts hashtag. So I started posting on YouTube Shorts long before it even became available in the US in the hopes that I would be able to get my way onto that algorithm before anyone else.
That is pretty smart, trying to beat the algorithm. So, what kind of shorts did you initially produce?
It's actually the same ones I'm still doing. I'm a paintball content creator. I've been playing paintball since I was 10 years old and filming it since I was 16. So it's the same content. I started posting paintball clips, compilations, stuff like that on there.
And how has your content grown over the years? Were there any big steps that you were like, okay, this is going to end up being something versus just, a side hobby every now and then you would do something that you just was like, wow, this is going to become a main focus now because, this or this happened?
So nothing major happened in the sense of like my channel. Everything that happened outside of my channel. So TikTok blew up to almost 300,000 followers, and Instagram, all that. I'm at over 50,000 on all my socials except for Twitter X. Um, and that's kind of like it was about 100,000 on TikTok, and I was like, this is a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing this, and everything that I've done, I feel like it's my big accomplishments all came outside of it. I was able to grow friendships, um, host events where we met at. So I was able to do everything that I really wanted to do within the social media space by volunteering my time and just doing my best outside of online to help grow the scene that's local.
Yeah, that's one thing I want to say is that the event that you hosted, particularly for YouTube and the other stuff that you probably do on the side, there's this, how do I say it, stigma for most people that aren't in the know of creation or in a positive circle of creation, right? The stigma is like, well, a big creator's not going to talk to me, or they're going to turn me down. There's no way they're going to talk to me, or I just never going to get their attention, their time of day. But one thing that you showed me when you were hosting the event is that there were people there with millions of followers, millions of subscribers, and there were people there with 200 subscribers, and everybody was treated equally. And everybody just coexisted pretty well. And can you elaborate on some of like that positivity and the spaces that you were involved in and how you kind of create that cohesion for everybody?
Yeah, absolutely. So that was one of the things when I was talking to YouTube. He's trying to get up here. When I was talking to YouTube about the event, and they already have the same idea, but dude, I need you to stop. They already had the same kind of idea where they love having creators of all sizes interact with each other, but I really wanted to embody that. So when they told me, I can invite whoever I wanted, which you can have a group of your friends go because at the end of the day, they want current relationships to grow as well. I invited everyone that I knew, whether they had 10 subscribers or 10 million, because that's that's what I like. I'm one of the smallest guys in my group, and the fact that some of my friends that talk to me always boggled me because I'm not really up there. So that's what I love about the YouTuber community in general, especially the shorts community. It's that there's people with 30 million subscribers that are friends with someone with 5 million, with 500, because it doesn't really matter your size, you're all creators. So that's what with that event specifically, I really wanted to show was I didn't care who was invited as long as no one was left out because of their subscribers.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, that is definitely showing something where uh, you're kind of breaking that stigma. Um, when I first got into YouTube, I didn't think that, I'll just give you an example. I didn't think that actors would come on my channel when I had 4,000 subscribers, but they did. But what you have done is so much more. And people that I've met at the meetup that you had, where I'll just name some names of people I can't forget, like Soup Timmy, he was awesome. Safari Sammy, um, and hopefully I'm saying her name right, Hallie.
Hallie, yep.
Yeah, like and everybody just like took pictures with each other. Everybody just had a good time talking and helping out with ideas or how to do this or their thoughts on the algorithm. And that's something that always piques me is the algorithm, because it just seems like in shorts especially, it started out one way and now it's like constantly changing almost every day, because you never know. You could have a short that takes off like 8 million and your next short might be like 3 views. It's like, what happened?
Yeah, it's definitely an ever changing beast, and that's what I love about. I'm gonna keep bringing up YouTube because they're the only social media I can think of that's doing events often. Because I know TikTok and Instagram will do it, but not as often. And every single time I go to one of these events, every single person at some point thinks about the algorithm because they'll talk about it because everyone's trying to figure it out. And there's really no figuring it out. Obviously, everyone's is different, everyone's audience is different, but there's a general understanding about it. And I love that we all talk about it because, I mean, let's 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you weren't big creators were not sharing their analytics with you because that was private information and they could only share it with companies to get sponsorships, and small creators didn't need to share it because they didn't feel like they had any, or didn't want to share it because they didn't feel like they had anything to contribute because they weren't big. So why share it? So nowadays, everyone's talking about it because we all are trying to share with each other, and I love that the community has changed like that because it's so necessary for us all as a community to continue to talk to each other and learn about sponsorships and everything, just so we all know we're not getting bamboozled by this company because we're a smaller creator and anything like that. It's nice that we're all working together.
And that's another thing. Another point is that sometimes it really doesn't matter your size to get a sponsorship or a brand interested in you. When we were there, and I can't remember his name, but he was talking that he does college content, and he didn't have a big following, but Samsung sponsored him.
It's Yusuf, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that's just crazy to me that this whole gatekeeping thing that was out there in social media for so long, all those people that gatekept, it doesn't even matter anymore because there's a positive community out there now,
Yeah.
and that's the communities that you want to be part of. And I feel like being part of the community that you hosted, the shorts community, the shorts creators, all of that, it's just so positive. Everybody is just like uplifting. Nobody is saying you did something wrong, you're terrible. No, everybody's like, oh, that's great that you did that. Here's my idea to do something a little bit different. If you like this idea, take it. Everybody just shares ideas. And another thing I want to bring up too is that I was a little at this event because there were so many people, and I was enamored by all the people that I saw there. I was a little shy at first, and it was great how you guys kind of got up because you kind of want everybody to kind of mingle at some point, and just the way that you hosted that was so good because by doing that, so many people came over, were talking to each other, people that you would probably never think talk to each other. Like you had fitness guys talking to like nature people, and nature people talking to comedy skit people, and it's just so cool to see that happen.
Yeah, so that was something me and Rebecca especially, she's so good at what she does. But um I know how I am when I go to these events. I'm very shy because I don't know these people. I'm there, great. I got invited to the table, but what am I gonna do with it? So I've had to force myself to get up and just talk to somebody. And some of my best friends I've met have come from just getting up and talking to somebody. And that's what we really wanted is we didn't want anyone to sit there all night and just feel like they showed up and didn't participate. We wanted everyone to meet people and have a good time, get Instagrams and just overall we want y'all to come up with your subgroups that get together and film content together and just have a good time, have brunch, go out on the weekends. Like we wanted that. And that's not going to happen if someone's sitting there. So that was one of our goals was we want everyone to participate, whether it's we had the cornhole, play cornhole or take a picture or just generally talk.
Yeah, I will say the cornhole idea was pretty cool because people did get up and play that. So those things are kind of fun that you think of stuff like that, and I know that YouTube pretty much chooses the events. Correct me if I'm wrong. They choose where the event's going to be, and then it's kind of like up to you to host it and bring people together. And Rebecca Rogers did a fantastic job as well. And I was really surprised to be able to meet her at this event because she is such an amazing creator, and she has grown a huge following from her story of leaving teaching school and into content creation. And just to have both of you there that were experts or people that kind of have the knowledge of the how do I say this? The years into content creation to help everybody. It was just really cool.
Yeah, Rebecca, she very good at that. You had mentioned about YouTube creating, kind of choosing the space and everything, and that is true to a sense. When the creators that were approached, that would me being me and Rebecca, when we were approached, we were told that we can choose our own venue if we wanted to. The problem is I don't know any venues out here that were able to accommodate us. So that was the biggest problem. Um, Rebecca especially doesn't because she's from like Carolinas or something like that. So that was the biggest thing with that. The space did feel a little bit small. We didn't really know how big it would be because we were just told how much it can accommodate, which we assumed felt bigger. Um, but yeah, so at the end of the day, we were given as much freedom as we wanted, but any restrictions that were put on was just from lack of us knowing a certain thing or anything like that.
And even with those restrictions in place, I want to say that it was still a great job. For even the area that it was in, like you said, it might have felt small compared to all the people that showed up, but it kind of made everybody close enough together to have to talk at some point. You had to cross somebody's path and talk to them. So I think that was very good. And I want to talk a little bit about you and paintball because I know that you take a lot of photos of paintball. You go out there, you take some videos, and when you're capturing the essence of paintball, to you it's like a passion because it was your hobby. And
Mhm.
how often do you go out there and go to these events to do photography?
So the events happen. The main one's called NXL. That's like the pro series, and that happens 5 times a year. Happens in Vegas, Texas, Chicago, this year Atlantic City, and then Orlando. So those are the big ones for that. And then there's a smaller series that I cover called MVPS. They're the regional series, and they also happen 5 times a year, all at Austin, Tyndall, and Kissimmee. And so about 10 times a year, I'm going out to the actual events, but I'm also going out to the practices every so often. I'm going to the field just in general to shoot something for content. So I would say it's probably no less than like 40 times a year am I going out doing something, and those events are 2 to 4 days long usually.
Oh wow. So when you're taking like are you participating in the events as well, or is it just strictly photography when you go to these events?
Um, Strictly photography right now, but I think for Atlantic City, I'm planning on playing it as well as uh, doing photography. But that's undecided. Usually, I'm going out there to work. They're pretty long days, so playing it's not generally in the question in the equation. Like usually, I'm out there from like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. every single day. So it's tasking. It's yeah, tasking work.
Oh wow. So when it comes to cameras,
Mhm.
how many like memory cards do you go through in a day? How many pictures do you take in a day?
I usually only go through one memory card. I have a 256 gigabyte card that I keep in there. But generally, I can shoot between 6 to 10,000 photos a day. It really depends on what's going on that day, the action that's going on. But like Texas, we just came back from there last weekend and or 2 weekends ago, sorry. And I think I shot like 6,000 a day, so it was a bit of a slower event.
Wow, that's a
So
lot of photos to go through.
yeah, it is, but it's a lot of bursts because it's just quick action. So um, usually you'll be able to get through a burst of like 60, 70 photos and only choose one out of there because you don't need to have multiple that look close enough to the same.
How long does it take you to go through all the content that you choose, to put on social media or choose for it to help cover the events?
2 weeks is my turnaround. That's what I always tell people is 2 weeks. I usually have it done within a week. That's usually I'll come home from work at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and I'll be up till like midnight editing. But generally 2 weeks is my max. For this event, I was able to get everything done by Tuesday.
Wow, that's impressive. I'm gonna be honest, that's impressive. I'm not the greatest with cameras yet. I have an old M50 1080p camera. I think it does 4K at like 24 frames per second or something, but it's an older M50, and I don't know how to use it that well. So it's impressive to me that you can do all that in the short time that you do it.
Years, man, years of practice.
What is your when it comes to editing the photos? What is your go-to choice of like software for that?
Uh, for yeah, for photos, I prefer Lightroom, Lightroom Classic. It's just to me, it's my favorite program. But for video, I'm a big fan of DaVinci Resolve.
Okay, yeah, that's DaVinci is starting to become more of a common name out there in video editing, and for a long time it was just Premiere Pro, and DaVinci seems like a little bit of a learning curve, but
Yeah,
that's
I
interesting.
yeah, DaVinci has a cool thing. I think they all do, but DaVinci's is really easy to figure out with the nodes. So if you make a mistake that doesn't or you do an edit that doesn't work well with another edit you did, you can go back to the node and delete that versus having to restart or try to correct it, anything like that. You can just delete that node and everything else stays the same. So it's really good, and it's also the color grading is so much better than any any other program, at least any one I've tried.
Now, do you manually adjust the colors in DaVinci, or do you use like pre
Um,
templates?
so I do have my own little preset that I use, but that was from actually manually doing it. I have a little, I could probably grab it, but it's kind of over there. I have a board that I got from them that I plug it in and I'm able to like adjust everything on some knobs that are on there. So um, sometimes I'll do that because it's just a lot of fun to do that, and it's so easy to tweak things.
It's pretty cool. I didn't know they had that.
I can grab if you want.
Oh yeah, if you can, if it's not too far to reach. If it's too
Yeah,
far to reach, you don't gotta.
I don't think it's too far to reach. It's just kind of in a weird corner, but got it right here. I got it in the box right now. I like to keep it in there because the corner that it's in it's just better to have it in that. And yeah, it's kind of in a weird spot. Not a big deal though. Here we go. And yeah, it's called the micro panel is what I have. You're gonna have to relax, buddy.
Oh wow,
Yeah, it's a beefy boy, but these are balls that you can use to manually adjust things. Everything has color boost, all that's on here, so you're able to just get right into it.
that's impressive.
Yeah, I like this thing a lot. I don't use it as much as I probably should, but that as I said, that's because I was able to use it to make a LUT of sorts and put that on there.
Now, when it comes to lenses for your camera, do you have a
Mhm.
preference?
The 70 to 200 2.8 is my go-to. Again, covering sports, that's kind of a necessity. But for anything close up, I use either a 24 to 70 or a 24 to 35 by Sigma. So it's really usually that 24 range is how I like to stay when I'm really close, but 7200 is anything else.
For photography, did you go to school for any of this, or did you just picked it up and you're like, I'm gonna learn it?
I yeah, I picked it up and was like I'm gonna learn it. I learned everything I know on YouTube or from like people that knew more than I did. And I kind of picked it up because I had paid for photography from a photographer who didn't do a good job in my opinion, and I kind of did it like I can do better. So that was kind of my reasoning.
Oh wow. How long did it take you to learn everything with the cameras and the software?
There's still a lot to learn. Of course, everything's always updating. Now we have AI going into everything, so there's still a lot to learn. I would say for me to have a decent grasp on it, it probably took me about a year and a half. I didn't charge anybody until a year and a half, so everything I shot was free up till then, just because I was learning myself. Um, Still, as I said, a lot to learn, and every new camera, every new lens, everything's a new trick. But that's when I had a decent enough grasp where I felt like I could actually do something with it.
And going from photography, do you plan on going into like more video editing as well? Or do you do both equally?
No, I plan on getting more into video editing. A lot of my stuff right now is very much like straight from camera as far as video goes. Sometimes I'll slow things down or add a speed ramp or music or something to it, but I'm just not super good with editing yet, and it's hard for me to learn just because I can't say I don't have the time, but I don't have the patience to learn. So, um, I do plan on getting more into it, editing a lot more. It's just it's something I have to commit to.
That makes sense. So, do you have any advice for aspiring content creators out there that may be afraid to take that leap into photography, YouTube content creation?
Funny you say that. I have a thing that I've always said. I have some. I should have worn a hat or something that said it on there. Um, I always tell people like just post. That's one of my things is I've had friends that are like, "Oh, I want to post, but I don't know if any of my stuff's good enough." And like at the end of the day, I always tell them like, "Who cares?" Right? Like it doesn't matter if it's good enough or not. What matters is that it's going out there because you never know what's going to pop off for you. We've all seen those videos that are like, "How did this get 30 million likes?" Because they just posted it. Like so that's my advice is just post. It doesn't matter if you look goofy, it doesn't matter if it's not the greatest thing you've ever put out there. What matters is that you did it. So I think that's the best thing I can give is if you want to get into YouTube, just post.
And something you said there is that, you never know, kind of in a sense, what's going to take off. And one thing that I heard at the YouTube creator meetup was that some people posted stuff like 2 years ago and it just blew up like 6 months ago. One thing that I posted like over a year ago. Didn't know the cosplayer happened to be well known within like the Disney cosplay community, and a year later, all of a sudden, the video went from maybe like 400 views to 8.5 million views. And then not only did it do that on YouTube, but it did that on Facebook as well. And then the cosplayer found the video and he's like, "Oh, this is me. This is so cool." And you could just see the comments like tagging him left and right. And this can happen to any creator that posts anything. Like, you could do something, you could take a photo, you could take a video of somebody, outside, and next thing you know, the whole world is going to see it. It's just that whole idea is kind of crazy. And you see all these coaching videos like on the algorithm and this and one thing I learned from the meetup with you guys is that there really is no secret sauce. It's like the algorithm's either going to pick it up now, sometimes pick it up later, or it just might not see it.
Mhm.
There's no secret, and it's
That's
something
the
that
whole point.
people try to gatekeep this information, and I'm just so glad for people like you that were there to kind of like help people like me with information and access to people and access to the event. And I'm so grateful to you for something like that, because you are one of the kindest people I've ever met in the creator space.
I really appreciate that. I hopefully, obviously, if you do more, I'd love for you to come. But yeah, I mean, as I said, you never know. I mean, we all don't think I don't think anyone thinks the Island Boys thought that that song was gonna blow them up, but one video of them freestyling changed their entire lives. For better or for worse, that's for people to decide, but it changed their entire lives. You just never know what's going to change your life. And if you don't post it, as you said, you post something that you filmed a year ago. You didn't expect it a year from now to blow up, but it did. And at the end of the day, you just don't know. So why hold on to it if it's not the best piece of content you've ever seen when it could be the thing that changes your entire life?
Exactly. I agree with you 100%. If there's anybody watching this video later on, the one thing I highly recommend is that just take the chance, like Sam said, and post it. And especially if it's shorts, just post it. If you want to throw hashtags on there, you can. If not, it's fine. Just post it. And you just never know because the shorts community is a lot different than the long form community. I found that out as well from meeting all the shorts creator. It's just, Sam, I'm just forever grateful, man.
I'm really glad you were able to come out there. I'm glad. I mean, I'm hopefully we can do more events, meet more people that just want the opportunity to go out there because that's really what my group is Creatorsburg. That's what we're trying to do, and that's what I'm trying to do with YouTube is really make Tampa itself same kind of access that New York and LA have. I want us to have a community that gets early access to movies and gets premieres and gets all these events and parties and stuff. I really want us to have all that, and I think that we're getting there. So, and I'd love to continue to help grow the community around here so that way creators who, like you said, you felt there wasn't anything crazy there. I want people to not feel that. I want them to feel like they belong just because they're here.
Yeah, and that's something that every creator I've met so far in Tampa and Orlando and St. Pete has been that way. Everybody's just been open. And I'm just gonna say this real quick. I went to the Sunscreen Film Festival, and it's a really
Mhm.
small world because there's people there that were from the YouTube creator event.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw Hallie was there. I don't know who else was there. I saw Hallie was there. I did not go to that, and seeing it, I was like, dang, that would have been that would have been really cool. But things like that, the more opportunities we can have here, that the Sunset Film Festival, all that, the better for the community.
Absolutely. Well, Sam, I want to thank you for hanging out with me and talking about your journey and all the cool stuff that you're up to. Where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on YouTube at my name. It's Samuel Bennett. Or you can do the handle at Samuel Bennett. Or if you go to any other platform, it's all in media. And usually, if you look that up, you'll find the generics from. I usually have like dots on Instagram and underscores on TikTok.
Awesome. Well, to everybody watching, I hope that you learned something. I hope you take the chance and, this inspires you to post something. I really do. And I hope it inspires you to join local communities like Sam is starting out in Florida. And I hope it inspires you to go for it. Whatever your hobby is or content, doesn't matter. Put it out there. See what happens.
Yep. I love that, and yeah, I couldn't agree more. Meet people around your area and just start having fun with them. Important thing is being friends.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Sam.
Yep. Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on here. It was a lot of fun.